Good evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of Amapá in Brazil. I'm at kind of an awkward angle here because this is a really big book, it's a really big page, and it's just the easiest way to do it. You can't tell, but I'm struggling here. Amapá is one of the more northerly regions, or states, I should say, of Brazil. And yes, it is right on the outskirts of the Amazon rainforest. In fact, this is a really interesting fact. 90% of Amapá is Amazon rainforest. You can see right here, this is the Tumucumake. My goodness, I butchered that. Tumucumake Mountains National Park right here. This region is the national park, but all of this out here is Amazon, thick Amazon rainforest. Pretty much if you live in Amapá, odds are you live along the coast, and odds are you probably live in Macapá, the capital city there. You can see there are little towns and things throughout the jungle, but they are literally just very tiny, tiny towns. And what's interesting, I think, the most fascinating fact about Amapá is that of the 90% rainforest that makes up the state, 70% is unexplored. That's so fascinating. That's amazing. And it's not because people are lazy or we just haven't got to it. It's so thick, it's so dense, it's so full of animals, dangers. We can't go in to explore it. You can go in, you're probably not coming out. It is very, very thick rainforest, which I'm just fascinated with. The coastline is also not quite what you think when you think of the coast of Brazil. You think of the coast of Brazil's beautiful, pristine beaches, and while there are some very nice beaches here, most of it is swampy mangroves, which is the case here in Cabo Orange National Park. Very, very thick mangrove swamps there. Think like the Everglades in Florida, just not nearly as expansive and clinging mostly to the coastline here. And you can see down here, this is the Amazon River. Now the delta of it, one of the largest deltas in the world, is located mostly in the state of Pará to the south here, but a little bit of it here you can see in Amapá, which I think is also really, really fascinating. Not everyone can brag that the Amazon River Delta is right in your backyard. I just think that's neat, to be honest. It's not much else to say in terms of geography. It is mountains, it is the Amazon, and coastline, which are all very wonderful things, very beautiful. I haven't found a lot about history here before the Europeans arrived, but I did find something really cool. Just outside of, this town, which I believe is pronounced Calçoene. I'm terrible at Portuguese, so forgive me. Feel free to correct me down in the comments. I know I have a lot of Brazilian viewers. Near that city, they have found a Stonehenge. And I'm not talking like the stones, like with the towers and everything. It is a stone, almost like a circle. It's like a stone patch where these rocks were either carved or found and displayed in a way that could help people follow the sun, and they would align with the solstices, which is so cool. It's so neat how there's so many sites around the world that are like that, and there's one right in the Amazon rainforest, and we don't know a lot about it, kind of like Stonehenge, how we don't know when it was constructed or for whom, but lots of really amazing artifacts and burial sites are found there. It's still being explored. I'll show it to you on Google Earth so you can see what the stones look like. They're really, really incredible. So, flash forward to the Europeans arriving. Obviously, the Portuguese came into this region. The Treaty of Tordesillas claimed that this was Portuguese land. It was called Portuguese Guiana because this region up here is known as the Guianas. You have Guyana, French Guiana. This was Dutch Guiana for a minute. This was Portuguese Guiana. One of the weird parts of the world where there are lots of Guineas. There's 3 parts of the world that are named after Guinea. This is one of them. So this was Portuguese Guinea, but not everyone that settled here was Portuguese. This region you can see is still called French Guiana. Many French people would start coming in and settling and building plantations. Mainly they were building sugarcane plantations, which was what France was really big on in with the 1600s. But also lots of lumber companies. And sorry if you just heard my stomach. Lots of lumber companies and various farms were coming in. There was obviously tension between the Portuguese and the French at this time, so it was planned to be resolved in the Treaty of Utrecht in 1713 to draw the lines here between French Guiana and Portuguese Guiana. But a lot of French people didn't really respect it. They were French after all. And would still cross over to establish plantations, especially after gold was found in the region and after the rubber industry. Once cars were becoming a thing and you needed rubber to make tires, lots of rubber trees in the region. So that became a big, big draw. So it really came to a head in 1900, and Portugal and France took it to Geneva to be resolved in like a more legal setting. In 1900, Geneva looked at both sides, at the various conflicts that erupted around the border between the farmers, and they eventually sided with Portugal and said, look, well, with Brazil at this point, I should say. It's 1900. It's not Portugal anymore. It's Brazil, I should say. What am I thinking? It was Brazil. And they said, no, this is Brazilian land. If you're going to come here and build farms, you got to do it the legal way. So it was resolved. The border was upheld. And this half is Brazil. This half is French. And it ended there. The conflicts ended there, thankfully. The state of Amapá was formed in 1988. Before that, it was part of Pará. And that was mainly because Amapá was becoming very important economically to Brazil, not just with the aforementioned gold and rubber, but manganese was discovered in 1945, and the main industry in Amapá today is manganese mining. So that was pretty much all of the interesting history I could find. Still kind of interesting, I think. But because I'm at an awkward angle, I have to cut, and we're going to go down south to where my tablet is, so hang tight. Alright, so here you can see state of Amapá. Let me highlight it real quick so we can zoom out so you can see exactly where we are. We are going to zoom out to see the rest of South America. You can see we are kind of in the northern half of South America. It's not northerly, right? But it's in the more northern part of South America, up in northern Brazil. That is where we are. Take a look at this slideshow, see if there's any good pictures. The rivers here, lots and lots of river systems. You can imagine it being the Amazon. A lot happening there. Ooh, a cool old wall there, fort of some kind. That water probably feels really nice, but I'd be very scared to swim in like Amazonian, Brazilian rivers like that. That's a prison. Oof, it looks like it at least. A very old church. So yeah, it's a very quaint part of Brazil, but a very beautiful one nonetheless, because you have the gorgeous Amazon. You can see the thick green of the Amazon down here, and you can see just how much of it makes up Amapá. So let's take a look at the Tumucumake Mountains National Park. You can see what I mean. Look at that. That is beautiful. Look at all of the moss on the sides here. The big roaring waters down there. That's beautiful. Just rainforest stretching out as far as the eye can see. Big waterfalls. Beautiful sunsets. Look at that. Look how dense it is. And the mist, the fog overhead too. Since rainforests are full of rain, it's raining a lot there. Oh, sweet bird, little parrot, hanging out by the big tree there that they found. It's a pretty rainbow too. I like that. It's just very beautiful. Look at this amazing flower. I've never seen a flower like that before. One of the exciting things about the Amazon, since so much of it is unexplored, we just don't know what's in there. There could be even more fantastical flowers hidden in there. Well, we may never know. Ooh, there's a tour guide there. Very beautiful. Amapá National Forest. Let's see if there's some more cool pictures here. More watery pictures. And boats. Safe houses. Lots of ways to explore the waters here. Oh, that's kind of eerie. That's beautiful. Yep, we are in the Amazon. I'm very excited to explore further. Those are piranhas. Are those not piranhas? They look like piranhas. Ooh. You know, piranhas are those, it's kind of like quicksand, how you thought piranhas were more of a danger to you as a child because of cartoons. They have teeth, they will bite. They're not gonna like rip the flesh off of you and leave you a skeleton, you know. They're not like that. They will bite, but they won't, like, if you put your hand in, it won't come out like a skeleton hand or anything. But anyway, here you can see some of the lovely coastline here. Let's see if we can't take a look at National Park here. Cabo Orange. Oh, that's right, there's no pictures of it. I tried to explore it, but there's no pictures. So maybe we can find a street view. It's going to flash blue for a second. There we go. Anyone take any pictures of it? Sorry for all the blue. I know it's very bright. Yeah, nothing's coming up. That's too bad. But you can see here, if we look closer, all of like the swampiness of it. It's all very green though, but very wet and swampy and yucky and mushy. Let's take a look while we're up here at the Stonehenge before I forget, before we look at Macapá. We're gonna look at the Stonehenge, which I may not be able to find just by zooming in. I might have to type it in, but that's okay because I have it queued up. Because it's somewhere in here. And, oh, did I find it? Hey. Is this it? We found it. Haha, I did it. So there's lots of these cool kind of jagged rocks. And here's the stone circle in question that this person is modeling for us. This rock here, you can't really tell. Let me zoom it in. It's a face. Okay, here's the forehead. There's its eye, nose, lips. Can you see it? And this hole here is what aligns with the sun on the summer solstice. Is that not incredible? Yeah, everyone takes pictures there by the important part. Here's the rock outlined. You can see there's the forehead, nose, mouth, and the eye. And it's showing exactly where the solstice sun lines up. June solstice. I should say it's Brazil. It's more of the winter solstice, I suppose, then, but it's right in the middle for the equinoxes. How incredible is that? So needed. All kinds of artifacts are being found here. Pretty flowers. Here's like a panorama shot. Here is the main stone circle, I believe. Yeah, because there's the face. So, like, it's not a circle per se, but what else would you call it, you know? Really, really neat, I think. You took a lot of selfies there. There's the important part. So, yeah. Discovered on accident, too. People wandered into it while they were hunting. They thought it was inhabited, so they ran away. One of the guys was like, I should probably check that out. He never stopped thinking about it and came back, cut down some trees, and realized what he'd found. Pretty cool. So here's Macapá. You can see there's that old fortress and the old buildings that we saw before. It is, the major city of the region, but that doesn't mean that's a pretty church. I like that color blue. Doesn't mean that it's like a major city. You can see the old fortifications here. The old homes, I should say. There's the walls of the old fort. It's a big city, but it's not a metropolis, right? It's still pretty big. Nice pool there. There's a picture of, I was gonna say Jesus, but he's holding a baby. So is that baby Jesus and that's Joseph? I don't know. It's a pretty statue though. There's that beautiful blue color again. So yeah. And it's right on the Amazon River estuary. Look at this. Like, this is a very Amazon picture to me. Like the log hut around the trees, the little ladder going into the river. That screams Amazon to me. So yeah, you can see here the Amazon River meeting the Atlantic Ocean. Right by Amapá. Which is really cool. You can see a bit of the deforestation happening. That happened around the forest there. Not really as big of an issue today as it was before. Especially, like I said, almost all of this jungle is unexplored. It's so too thick to penetrate. So that's pretty cool. I'm out of the state. There we go. Let's see what this is. Let's see if there's any pictures here. Protected area in Brazil. It's pretty. I'll close it out here. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this style of content, please consider subscribing, because this is an ongoing series on my channel. Pretty scarlet macaw there. I love those birds. Next, we will be going over to Turkey, which, I love Turkey. But we're going to be exploring the region where the guy who wrote the Geographica was born in. My channel is named after one of the oldest books of geography, if not the oldest book of geography, the Geographica. And the guy who wrote it was born in this part of Turkey, so I'm excited to talk about that. A bit of an important aspect of my channel. I love it. So be sure to subscribe so you won't miss out. I hope you found this video relaxing and educational. And I hope that you have a good